Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am really not feeling well. My throat hurts. I've got snot pouring out of me. It is not a good time, but you bet your ass I was going to pull myself out of bed to do a video on this. I am enjoying Helldivers 2 so much. It is my game of the year. It has been phenomenal, and it came out of nowhere. I had no knowledge of the Helldivers series before this. I've never played Helldivers 1. But it's been just such a treat to play this game. It's just a breath of fresh air. No propaganda. Ironically, no propaganda. No, over the top woke messaging. They're banning people who, bring up a rainbow cape in the game. All of that sort of stuff that ends up saturating other games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League and stuff. Game companies that get advice from like Sweet Baby Inc. and companies like those. No, this company is doing it right. And even when they have missteps, it's still just a breath of fresh air. In fact, I would say that the Helldivers 2 community, from what I've seen, is by far the most wholesome. If anyone is actually toxic, it's people like this, who is the writer of this article. Now, immediately, when you look at somebody like this, I would ask you to ask yourself, would you listen to somebody who looked like this on any topic? I'm not saying that you would discard him as a human being, but I'm saying that if somebody like this approached you and wanted to talk to you about a topic, would you take them seriously? The answer is no, of course not. So why would you do it here? This person that clearly is looking to get clicks and views, retweeting his own post. So here's what he says: toxicity in Helldivers 2 extends beyond mere discussion about meta builds. For Polygon, I spoke with over 60 players. By the way, 60 players is nothing. Like every day, there's like 400 some odd thousand people playing the game, including Gantz the Demon and a queer-led Discord group. Well, if you're gonna talk to a queer-led Discord group, I can already tell you what the conversation's gonna be like. It's gonna be miserable because those people are miserable. They're all miserable. I have never once heard, hey, we talked to an LGBTQ community and they had positive things to say and it was really productive and it was really good. No, it's just a bunch of miserable people complaining and bitching and moaning. That's what the LGBT community in these groups are. Not all of them, but if they aren't part of that group, they're probably out enjoying the game, is what I'm saying. The people who are LGBTQ who aren't part of this cancer, they're out enjoying the game. They're out having fun. The people who are in these groups to complain, that's all they do is complain. And they're in absolute misery. And no one wants to be around them. And so interviewing them is sort of like, well, yeah, I walked up to a wasp nest and I asked, so how are you feeling today? Well, you're going to get stung. It's like inevitably. So this person talks about and how the military roleplay has led to bigotry and witch hunting. Just buzzwords. I mean, it's meaningless. I'll tell you about my experience playing Helldivers 2, and probably one of the reasons why I love it. It is such a wholesome experience. I know online there may be people who are negative, but I don't really get into the forums or anything on this game. There was a game I played the other day, and there was a kid who was playing, and he was probably level 9. And there was a guy he was teamed up with who was like level 50. I'm currently like level 27. I think back then I was like level 23. So this guy was talking with this kid, and it was the most wholesome thing I've ever seen. The kid was like sort of confused and like, oh, where do I go with this? And he goes, oh, here, this is what you do. Basically, this guy who, is a pro of the game. He was really, really, really good. Basically, just walk this kid through the whole thing. Oh, do you need another, reinforcement? Oh, yeah, I'd love one. It's like I'm not high enough level to have the railgun. And that was basically it. They just walked through, and it was like watching a parent walk their kid through. And I don't think he was his parent, but it was just a really wholesome experience, and I was blown away by that. It was incredible. And every time I play the game, there's always somebody using the emote to give a hug after the mission, even when the mission is completed, like you've gotten the things out but you haven't extracted yet. There's just a really wholesome nature around this game. Now, if you're a parasite, a left-wing degenerate, disgusting, despicable person, then inevitably you're going to try to tear this down because it doesn't conform to your ideological message, and clearly you're not a fan of gaming. You've lost that love a long time ago. Maybe you didn't even ever have it. But for me, it is almost inconceivable to me, not that somebody couldn't enjoy Helldivers too. I mean, sure, there are people that don't like this type of gameplay. I know many people who love Final Fantasy VII who would never pick up this game. Friends of mine who are like, yeah, I'm doing Cloud and Tifa and all that. I couldn't possibly do this. But for me, I think it's extraordinary. And so gaming is an interesting thing where it is literally for everyone. There is a game for you. If you're part of this LGBTQ cult, if you're part of this thing that you identify by your sexuality, which I think, genuinely, if you want my opinion, is one of the most pathetic things I've ever heard. Like, what is it that is about you that is the most interesting? Well, I'm a lesbian. It's like, okay, all right. I mean, it's like, what defines you? Who are you? Well, I'm a lesbian. It's like, or I'm gay, or it's like, if your sexuality is the most interesting thing about you, you're probably a games journalist. Journalist in quotations. But yeah, going through this article, it's filled with somebody that has a lot of hate in their heart, a lot of toxicity, a lot of malice, and doesn't like the fact that people are having a good time. Now, this thing with Gangsta Demon, it was really interesting. It was the gaming community coming together because they thought that there was a team killer. They thought Gangsta Demon was this troll who killed his team before when they were about to get out of there. They were about to extract. He kills his whole team and gets on the thing. So inevitably, people were like, "Oh my god, like that's not cool," and they get into the thing of like, you're betraying managed democracy and stuff. It's just people having fun. Now, inevitably, there will be some people who take it too far, but everything that I saw was just people having fun within the bounds of the game. Just a mere few weeks after the launch of Helldivers 2, in which thousands of players were forced to wait in queue due to server capacity almost every day, Gangsta Demon was immortalized in fan lore. According to Gantz, however, it was all a misunderstanding. The team kill, or TK for short, was payback for a friend being attacked. Yeah, and this was uploaded. And, it came to light that, the guy was team killed first. The Gantz situation since cemented itself as an example of how the in-game theme of fighting a war together is, for better or worse, resounding in the community beyond the game itself. Yeah, people like the theme, they like the game, they're having a good time, and this person has a problem with that because they're not invited to the party. They're most likely not good enough to play this game. They're probably upset at the satire because they're like, well, this is promoting Nazism. Like, genuinely, this person is probably too stupid to realize that it's all satire and parody, that people don't actually want managed democracy. I mean, I hate to spoil it for you, but if you're on the ship and you talk to any of your people, she says, when the lady says, "Oh, I wonder who they're going to choose for me to vote for this year." It's like, no one actually wants this. It's just a fun thing to engage in. And People love Starship Troopers. This person, this quote unquote journalist, is incapable of understanding that human beings are much smarter than they are and understand the satire and are just having some fun. These people are allergic to fun. It is incredible. And by the way, interviewing 60 people for this game, first of all, I wouldn't trust that number. But even if you did, 60 people is nothing. It's not a representative sample. You have nearly every day over 450,000 people playing this game. More all the time. So I would say no. It is ridiculous the way that you're trying to frame this. Toxicity has become a popular topic around the Helldivers 2 community as of late. Yeah, there are people that get upset. There are people that go over the top. But everything I've seen in game, everything I've seen surrounding the game, is community. It's memeing. It's having fun. And then people like you come in and say, well, I don't like that. It's toxic. It's like, there's nothing more toxic than somebody like you. You're a pustule. You're a loser that doesn't have anything else about their personality other than their woke politics. And I gotta tell you, that's going by the wayside. All these companies are laying people like you off because you're a hindrance. You don't actually have any redeeming qualities. You don't have any redeeming values as a person or as a professional, quote unquote. You're a glorified Redditor. You're somebody that doesn't know how to interact with human beings in a functional way. So you see a bunch of people having fun, they're having a bit of a joke, having a bit of a laugh, and it bothers you. Because you're probably an antisocial parasite who never really could resonate with other people. You probably got together in the group that you did, being a games journalist, being part of Polygon, because there are other mentally ill, maladjusted people that hate having fun and hate other people having fun. How dare you have fun in my presence? It's so obnoxious to me that you can have people like this trying to ruin the fun of other people for a game that is so completely wholesome. There have been so many times where I've had people do incredible things in the game. Just like coming to help you, coming to save you, coming to help you get your kit after you've died. Reclaim your special weapon and your shield and stuff like that. It's just been a wholesome experience all the way through. And so, yeah, I dragged myself out of bed for this because I love this game and I love the community around it. I think they're incredible, and I think that games journalists are not. I have another video that I'm going to do eventually, probably in the next day or so, about how, Kotaku, and I don't know if Polygon has done it yet, but Kotaku comes out in defense of Sweet Baby Inc. Yeah. And one of the senior editors is currently going to war with Mark Kern. And what's hilarious is that this nobody from Kotaku is like trying to smack talk Mark Kern, like, oh, what do you even do? Like, do you even have a day job? And it's like, it's so remarkable to me, the level of arrogance and ego within these people. You're talking to Mark Kern. Do you understand? Like, he was the team lead of vanilla World of Warcraft. I could list off other things, but I don't even need to. That right there is enough of a legacy title. The team lead for the original vanilla World of Warcraft, that right there cements you as a legend forever. There's nothing that you could really do to change that. And some sassy lost child, part of this woke cult, comes in and goes, oh, who even really are you? It's like, do you not, are you so outside of the gaming bubble that you don't understand gaming royalty? Like, a guy that helped build one of the most fundamentally important games ever, something that touched the lives and the souls of so many people, and you speak to him like that because you're an ignorant, uninformed brat working at a company that nobody likes or respects because it's filled with incompetent garbage like you that is more interested in your social messaging that nobody likes or cares about than actually reporting on gaming. Anyway, that's a video for another time. But today's video, we're talking about Polygon and we're talking about Helldivers 2. It is a phenomenal game with a phenomenal community. Yeah, there are people who get very vociferous, but I would say of all the communities that I've seen in gaming, Helldivers 2 is probably the most wholesome. Considering the subject matter is satire, I think people are handling it particularly well. I think that people should continue what they're doing. Don't give any credence or credibility to these people who are just looking to ruin your fun. Simply ignore them. I'll do videos if something comes up. I'll talk about it, but you just enjoy the game. You just have fun. And tell these people to go to hell because they're miserable. They are miserable people. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you out there spreading managed democracy to a bunch of filthy bugs and some Terminator robots. God, that game is just so good. Anyway, that'll do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go back to bed. Probably blow my nose after I turn off the camera. The microphone. You're welcome. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time.